This is now a critical question. What is going to happen with the sanctions regime on Iran, and what happens if the U.S. does decide to lift some of those sanctions? Will the Europeans have to follow suit? To debrief, let's cross over now to the United States, because we are joined by John Bolton. He is the former national security advisor to President Trump. Sir, there's a lot of questions still about the details of this framework. The president of the U.S. says that they will be revealed in the next 24 to 48 hours. But based on what you see, is this a good deal for the United States, and is this a good deal for the rest of the world?
No, I think it's a very bad deal for the United States. Trump isn't thinking about the geostrategic implications of the deal. He's thinking of one thing. He wants the Strait open. He wants Gulf oil on international markets. He wants the price of gasoline at the pump down. That's all he cares about.
So at this point, if we understand, you're saying that he's put the U.S. national security at risk in exchange for cheap oil.
Well, I think that's basically what it comes down to. You know, Trump says he's digitally signed the agreement. The Prime Minister of Pakistan says they're going to sign it on Friday after 4 more days of technical talks. We don't know what's in this deal. If it were a great deal, it would be out in public. And I think that tells you pretty much what you need to know.
Let me pick up on that point, because we have not seen the details. He's talking now about a window of 24 to 48 hours. The fact that we don't know the details, what does that say to you? Is this a situation that is still fluid?
Well, I think it's embarrassing to the president. I think there's going to be some indication of unfreezing of Iranian assets, which he roundly criticized Barack Obama for back in 2016, and which I think is a mistake. I think it's a mistake to give this brutal theocracy any of the assets. I'm happy to give the assets back to Iran when it's under a free government. That's not where we are now.
But he did say there has been a change of leadership, and he did say they will never get the nuclear weapon, and they have agreed to that. So you don't buy that?
The change of leadership is only because we've killed the top 400 or 500 people in the existing regime, and you're down now to their seconds and deputies. So, yeah, it's different people, but it's the same fanatic regime. And I think that the idea that the deal is worthwhile because Iran has committed not to get nuclear weapons is a fantasy. Iran has been committed to not getting nuclear weapons for 56 years now, since it joined the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1970. Now, that was under the Shah, but even after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the government has repeatedly said they won't seek nuclear weapons, including in the 2015 nuclear deal. They just don't mean it.
But I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you say that this is not a good deal, that he's done this to get oil prices down, that he cannot guarantee there is no nuclear weapon when it comes to the regime, and you also say nothing has changed when it comes to the leadership, then therefore you could possibly argue the world today is far more dangerous.
Well, I don't think it's far more dangerous immediately, because I do think the U.S.-Israeli attacks caused considerable casualties among Iran's top leadership. I think we've done enormous damage to their military-industrial complex, more damage to the nuclear program, damage to the Navy, damage to the Air Force. It's going to take them a long time to recover from those attacks.
And I want to ask you two final questions, one about the Europeans and then another one going back to Iran. At this point, if they do not comply with the terms, and we still don't know what those terms are, does the U.S. have any leverage in terms of the military might? Because it seems to me President Trump will want to avoid at all costs another attack before the midterm elections.
Well, that's exactly right, and the Iranians can see that. They've seen for weeks, if not months, Trump is desperate for a deal. He's desperate for a deal, and they have maneuvered him. They've played him like a violin. That's why they've got the deal that they want.
So Iran got the better hand of the deal. That's what you would argue.
Yes, because they could see how palpably Trump wanted out of this, which means I don't think he's going to use military force again, and that takes the biggest weapon we have, the biggest leverage we have over Iran. That's all they will understand.
And just very briefly, the Europeans today, President Macron saying he can't put forward a mission to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump was very unhappy that they did not do that immediately. Is this going to fix a relationship in the context of NATO?
No, I think this European force is a fantasy. Is it willing to use force to keep the strait open, or is it going to be like a UN peacekeeping force that just waves as the ceasefire is violated? Nobody's ever addressed that question.
Well, John Bolton, thank you so much for joining us on this important topic and a very important day here at Euronews. We thank you for your time.